Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and I'm going to do the death tag. The death tag was created by Mr. Morningstar, and I will leave a link to his original video below. You can also watch two excellent versions by John and Books of Blood and Pax Panic. This tag has 6 prompts, but I am not going to tag anyone at the end because this is a tag that not everyone is going to be interested in doing. Prompt number 1. Do you think death is a disease we can eventually cure? No. First of all, death really isn't a disease. It is the result of a disease or an illness or an accident or old age or any other condition that can cause us to die. But it is not itself a disease. But getting into the spirit of the question, do I think disease is a condition we can eventually overcome? Maybe, but probably not. Certainly not within my lifetime. The body is just prone to illness, disease, and accident and time. It will catch up to us and we will die. Now, can we get to the point where we can make the body live longer? I am certainly that is going to come if we don't destroy ourselves in the future. There is also other ways we could prolong life and avoid death. One of the most interesting ones, I think, comes from Hans Movarik in his book, Mind Children. And he is a roboticist out of MIT, or he was when this book was published about 20 years ago. And he claimed that we will eventually be able to copy human consciousness into machine minds and live fully rational lives in a robotic body. Now, I'm not sure that will ever come to pass. There are a lot of people who disbelieve his basic premise and essentially called it the geek rapture, because he is essentially taken the idea of immortality from religion and substituting science for the religion and giving a way to extend our lives into almost infinity. Now, would it be fun to have my consciousness in a robotic body? Yeah, I think that would be great. Copy my mind into a machine and blast me off into space so I can explore the galaxy at sublight speeds and eventually maybe witness the heat death of the universe. Do I believe that will happen? No. It's just like wishing you're going to win the lottery, only the lottery's probably a better chance, but it would be fun. So the answer is no. We will not eventually overcome death in any way. It's coming for all of you sooner or later. Prompt number 2. Have you ever summoned the dead? I can remember sitting around when I was a kid in high school. We were on an overnight field trip and we all held hands and said, "Dead, come to us." And guess what? The dead did not come. And it all was rather foolish and silly, but that's what kids do. Prompt number 3. Have you ever had a near-death experience? No, I have not. I have been very fortunate. I have been in no serious accidents. I've had no serious diseases. So nothing even coming close to death. Now, what exactly is a near-death experience? I do not think that is the human mind or the human soul going up to a spiritual afterlife. What it is is the mind is dying, because usually the heart has stopped beating and the mind is going boom, 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 struggling and forcing out all these images as it's taking its last mental gasp, like a fish out of water going. You've all seen those fish. That is what a near-death experience is. It is not actually the mind transferring to an alternate plane for the afterlife. Prompt number 4. Do you want to be buried, cremated, or blasted into outer space? As fun as that may sound, being blasted out into outer space just seems like a horrible waste of resources. Being buried in the ground also seems like a horrible waste of resources in the ground. Being cremated, that's a little bit better, but you're also using resources to burn that body down into ashes. So what is the best method of body disposal? I don't know. Of those 3, definitely cremation. Sky burials in other cultures seem rather interesting. That is when the body is put on an elevated platform and it lets essentially nature and birds of prey take its course and decompose the body or feed the birds. Now, I also have to say that funerals are not for the dead. Funerals are for the living, because the dead do not care what happens to them after they are dead. So it's up to the living to decide what to do with the dead bodies. It's kind of silly for a person who has died to make demands upon the living on what to do with their body. I know that happened to my wife when her mother died in 2019. She had said for many years that she wanted to be physically buried in the grave of her husband, who had died 20 years earlier. He was buried in Arlington Cemetery, and the rules of Arlington Cemetery stipulated that wives of military personnel can be buried with the dead already in Arlington Cemetery. But we were in the middle of COVID at the time, and there was a very long delay getting bodies put into the ground, especially those of military spouses. Months waiting list, where my wife would have to store her dead mother somewhere. So my wife decided that she was going to cremate her mother, even though that was not her mother's wish. It was her wish because she was the survivor and she got to decide what to do with the body. But the mother-in-law did eventually get buried, or her ashes got buried, with her husband in Arlington Cemetery. And she got the funeral that Arlington Cemetery gives to the military spouses. And that's kind of a neat ceremony, but that was for all the survivors saying goodbye to her, not for the dead. Prompt number 5. If you could die painlessly, but come back to life after, how would you want to die? One that preserved my body without injury or scars. I presume drowning might be good. Let's go with drowning. Prompt number 6. Do you believe in demons? If you were talking about demons in an infernal region that are supernatural creatures that torment humans on earth, the answer is no. I know of no concrete evidence to support the belief in those kind of demons. If you want to expand the terminology of demon, the definition of demon, to include humans who are incredibly demonic or wicked or misjudging, or cause torment here on earth, I can say that those type of demons exist. They are people who are fanatical in their beliefs of politics and religion, who are unceasingly want to impose their views upon other people who do not believe in their personal beliefs. Those kind of people I would call demonic. And that is the end of the tag. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.